It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's time for your feel-good breakfast show, and also time for us to turn our attention to all things fashion. Now, the new year, it is officially in full swing. I mean, January's already hit double digits. And this morning, we are joined by founder of Fashion Breed and YouTuber Aqeelah Harron Ally to look at and chat about the biggest trends to expect in 2019. Aqeelah, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's been a while since I've been on the show. Good to be back. But of course, it's a new year, so we are going to be talking trends that need to stay and go in 2019.
Okay. Well, let's start maybe off by looking at the trends that need to stay in 2018.
Yes, 19. You know, you got that January habit.
No, the ones that must end.
So the ones
that must not come back.
There we go. Okay, the ones
we don't want to bring into 2019.
So the ones that we are not bringing into 2019 are all things girly, funny enough.
Okay.
So they are talking the bell-sleeved tops and off-the-shoulder tops. And then we are also going to be looking at neon. Neon had a hot minute in 2018. The Kardashian clan brought it back. Everyone went crazy buying neon things, and now it's dead.
Okay.
Well,
So,
I was going to ask you, because I see they tried the neon trend and it didn't really pick up, so that's not something we're going to bring into 2019.
So we're cutting our losses there. And then the last thing I would love to see stay in 2018, I was never a big fan, the clear plastic handbags and the Perspex heels. I mean, I let the people live. You know, we let them live, we let them have their moment with this trend, but it's definitely staying behind and we're not going to be bringing it back with us.
So what will we be bringing into 2019? Because, of course, our focus is looking ahead at what to expect for this year. I know utility wear is something, and I have to ask you, is what you're wearing right now what you would consider utility wear?
So utility is going to be major. So all forms of khaki, and it's going to come in the shape of boiler suits, which is what I'm wearing right now, and what we'll see on the screen, of course. So I love that. I've actually had this piece for a good couple of years, so it does tend to come back, which is great. Then also we are going to be seeing a lot of leopard print. We're already seeing lots of leopard print. And that is what I also love about that, is that it's a classic that comes back often. So, you know, when you invest in a leopard piece, it's not something that's going to date.
Colour, because you know, there's always something about colour that defines the tone for fashion. What colours should we be looking at? What colours are going to be popular this year?
Tan or camel was and is the hottest colour to bring from 2018 into 2019. At the end of last year, I was in the UK, and it was absolutely everywhere on the high street. There were entire collections dedicated to this shade, and it also tied in really nicely with the utility wear. So basically, this 2019 or this summer, if you look like you're going on a chic safari, you are on point.
That's very nice. It's good to know. And you touched on leopard print earlier. I find there are certain leopard prints that can tend to look tacky. And there are certain leopard prints that look elegant. Is it the person wearing it, or is it the type of leopard print? Because leopard print's leopard print.
It definitely is the type of leopard print, and then also the styling. So you should keep things minimal. Like you can see her accessories are very minimal. On the picture before that, it was a simple slingback flat and a plain top. It's very toned down. So you don't want to pair it with too many loud items, and I think that also once it becomes a little more sexy, the silhouette, that it can, you know, overpower things. And then also, I find that leopard print that is more finely printed, like when each little spot is smaller, it looks a lot better and more muted and chic, whereas the bigger ones tend to also be overpowering.
A quick question. Is there a point where it's too much leopard print, where you start to look like the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
I mean, I never say no to anything. I've seen full-on jumpsuits and boiler suits like I'm wearing right now, and they look amazing. I think maybe if you paired it with leopard shoes as well, and the bag, and that might be a little much, but I don't know, I love prints in general, and I'm always all for print mixing and just layering them on top of each other, so I'm a little biased there where that one's concerned.
Well, we love hearing from you, and of course, you at home. If you have a question you'd love to ask Aqeelah, feel free to head on over to our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and don't forget that hashtag Expresso Show.
Only you can make my day.
Thank you so much, Zoe. All right, we are back with our fashion blogger and YouTuber, Aqeelah Harron Ally. And earlier we discussed some really awesome fashion trends to watch out for this year. But now we're going to move to the other side of the spectrum by looking at trends that just need to die in 2019. And I know we touched on them briefly. And Zoe's going to come join us for this one because as a girl, she needs to be able to go out and tell all the other girls out there what needs to stay behind. So I know that we mentioned that very girly fashion, like ruffles, winged sleeves, and off-the-shoulder tops, which, I mean, I think are pretty and quite flattering.
Sad,
yeah, I think they're
not
flattering.
Considered for the trend.
No, totally. Especially with the ruffles, I'm completely in denial because I love my ruffles. I love my little tiered things. You know, I actually just ordered some stuff online that's still very much going with that.
Yeah.
But that's what the forecast says, so I'm just relaying the message to the people of South Africa, what's coming. Yeah, I'm quite sad about that. But I think I'm ready to leave the wing tops and the off-the-shoulder tops. I'm fine with leaving that behind.
And the florals, because I mean, I'm assuming when they say girly, my mind automatically goes to the florals and the pastel, the soft pinks like I'm wearing today. Is that what's part of that forecast or not in particular?
Not from what I saw.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you know what Miranda Priestley says in Devil Wears Prada?
Yes.
Florals for spring, groundbreaking. So I think we're going to still be breaking some ground come September. It's a standard. So I think we don't have to part with our florals. But I think it's more about the silhouettes and the structures that we are moving more to things that are more almost masculine, and although we don't really do gender anymore, but, you know, away from all the girly stuff and more the harder textures and silhouettes.
Okay. Well, don't worry, Zoe, you don't have to take your top off now.
I'll keep it on. It's okay.
Thank
but,
you.
Aqeelah, when it comes to the neons, I know we touched on it earlier, but Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians in general, I saw they were spawning a lot of neons. And we said that's something that's not going to be happening this year.
Yeah.
It didn't pick off. It didn't take off from the ground.
I think definitely when this started, I was like, this is going to be a hot moment. Everyone's going to go and find whatever lime and neon they can find in stores, and they're going to overkill it on Instagram, and I know it's going to date. I don't know. I think I'm just at a point where I like to invest in more sustainable trends. So I'm fine with trends as long as I know I'm going to buy those pieces and I can still wear them in future and they're going to still be classic as well. So for me, something like this, it's not something I would have invested in anyway. So I did have a bit of a giggle when I was doing a trend forecast research thing, and that's what came up. I wasn't surprised at all.
You knew.
Yeah, I knew.
Well, this next one really breaks my heart because this trend of plastic shoes, plastic bags and all of that, it came through for guys and for girls as well. I mean, I was really tempted last year to get myself a clear see-through plastic backpack.
In South Africa? In South Africa?
Yeah, well, backpack, you know, just like, you know, to be cool. But now you're coming with this trend forecast and you're saying that's gotta go.
I never liked it.
Really?
I wore it once for a shoot, but it was like a sample, and I mean it was fun for like that moment, but again I could also see I knew this was not going to be a long time. I was never into that.
I could never get into that.
Same.
For me, toes squished together, toe cleavage, no thank you.
I don't really like toe cleavage. I'm great, I'm fine with toe cleavage. It's just that it just looked strange.
Okay, I must be honest. I never was a big fan of these shoes on ladies, but that backpack, I really am still tempted to
get it.
Well,
do you, boo? Do you? If you want to do it.
There is a weird thing about people seeing the contents of your bag, and you've got to keep it tidy all the time because
it's just for show. That's not going to be practical.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right.
Well, Aqeelah, thank you so much for joining us this morning, giving us the trend forecast, and I mean, I'll still hold on to my girly pieces.
Do it.
Like she says, do you. There you go. But if you have a comment or a question you would love to direct at Aqeelah, you can always head on over to our social media pages. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, as well as Twitter. So use that hashtag Expresso Show.
Okay, so that is so much fun going on there. Every time you put Ewan and Kat together, it's mayhem. But listen, it is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. We've still got Aqeelah in the studio with us, who's a fashion blogger. She's been giving us all those tips and trends for the year 2019. What to look forward to in terms of your fashion, how to up your game, what to wear, what not to wear, what must be left in 2018, and what needs to come with us into the year 2019. Now, we've asked you to ask questions on social media using the hashtag Expresso Show. sure. And you've got some questions.
We do have some questions. We have so many interesting questions. So I'm going to go straight to a couple that we've asked. So this one lady's asking for some pregnancy fashion advice. She says she's watching the show. What kind of clothing should I wear since I'm pregnant? Because the off-the-shoulder crop top, I have them. I want to be fashionable throughout my pregnancy.
Okay.
And that's from Nondumiso.
Okay, so I always feel like pregnant women are at their most beautiful when they go for that sort of very, I don't want to say Grecian, but you know, the more ethereal look.
Yes.
And at the same time, I also feel like, I mean, I've never been pregnant, but when you invest in pregnancy clothing, try and look in some department stores, their maternity section. It's actually got clothing that can take you into after your pregnancy as well. And maybe it accommodates things like breastfeeding. So I think look at pieces that you can take after that and that you can still wear after that. So usually things that's got like a segment set under the bust that allows for pregnancy, but then when the baby's out, it's still going to flow really beautifully because I mean, I just take it for myself. I've thought about this already when I want to start a family. I don't want to have to buy a whole new wardrobe and then toss it also after the baby's out, you know, or wait until the next one. So it should be functional and still something long term. So still go for things that you like and that you feel is going to allow for that.
Okay, I love that. Now, we have Troy who sent us a photo on social media asking you about the male crop top. He's suggesting a must trend for 2019.
I mean, Troy, you do you, boo. If there's something that I love about the last, 2 years or so is that fashion has been given back to the people. So, yes, we talk trends. Yes, I mean, that's a natural inclination. I don't think they'll ever really die. But one of the biggest trends in the last couple of years, and I think it's just going to become a way of life, is for people to embrace their individuality. You know, do what's going to make you happy, wear what's going to reflect your personality. Fashion is also supposed to be fun. So, I mean, if you're going to wear your ruffles and your girly things, it's not the
Well, that's
end
definitely
of
where you're striking the balance between fashion and style, where you make it your own and you personalize it and own it.
Yes. Well, speaking of owning it, earlier we spoke about leopard print, and I feel like we need to get to Tanya's question because she says, I'm a plus size and my husband has always loved the print, but I'm so afraid it would make me look tacky or worse. So how do you suggest a bigger plus size woman can wear the leopard print trend?
Well, I'm always also a firm believer that no matter your body shape, wear what you want to. But if you are worried about looking a bit bigger in certain areas, it should, she is quite correct that print does draw attention to those areas and they might make her look a little bit bigger in those areas. So perhaps put wear the print on an area that's a bit slimmer. So if you're more top heavy, wear printed pants. Or if you're bottom heavy, wear a printed top so that it balances itself out.
What a hack.
Yes.
I love it. I love that.
All about the proportion.
All about proportion. Well, ladies and gents, we would have loved to have gotten through each and every question that you posted to Aqeelah. But Aqeelah, thank you for answering them. And of course, go follow her on social media. She is Fashion Breed on Instagram. And of course, check out her YouTube channel and her blog.